If you want to go from skinny to curvy, this is the video for you. Take it from me, I went from naturally skinny to hourglass curves fast, and I'm showing you exactly how I did it in the gym. As a naturally skinny girl, it was hard for me to always build curves. This video is for anyone who is struggling. So if you are trying this workout, make sure to comment glutes as always, so I know that you're joining in so I can support you. And without further ado, let's get into the video. I will begin every workout with a dynamic warm-up. This consists of doing some dynamic stretches. So as you can see here, it's deep squats followed by trunk stretches and leg stretches, but I continue moving my body. I'm never staying static. I also do some leg swings. After completing the dynamic stretching, I will move into some glute activation and different leg warm-ups. This is just to get the body moving and get the glutes activated for the workout ahead. So this can consist of sumo squat variations, ballet lifts, and different RDL movements to focus on that mind to muscle connection. Once I'm done with the warm-up, I will move into the first superset. A superset is a main movement followed directly by an isolated movement or a movement that doesn't require as much weight. This is typically to target the glutes, further establishing that mind to muscle connection. So for the first superset, we will be doing hip thrusts on the Smith machine as well as a hip thrust circuit immediately afterward. We are aiming for 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps, and then for the circuit, we will be going through this 3 times. When doing hip thrusts on the Smith machine, make sure you are pushing the weight through your heels and then also making sure to move the body as a unit. For the hip thrust circuit, we will start out with 10 normal hip thrusts. This is full range of motion. And then on the 10th hip thrust, you will stop at the very top of the movement and pause for 10 seconds. When that 10 seconds is up, you are then going to go immediately into 10 hip thrust pulses. So for the pulse, you're not going to go all the way down. You're not going to do the full range of motion. You're going to go halfway down and then come back up. And this is going to be a quicker pace than what the first hip thrusts were at. Moving on to our second superset, we are going to be doing RDLs with dumbbells as our main heavy compound lift. So this is going to be the main lift. This is the one where we will be exerting the most energy. But for this lift, I want you to focus on pressing the weight once again in your heels, driving your glutes back as you hinge your hips. And then I want you to think about full range of motion. So bringing the dumbbells as far down your legs as you can while also bending your knees. So it's kind of a harder movement to perfect, but once you get it, trust me, you will feel it in your glutes. Moving on, we will be supersetting this with an easier movement. This is crossover step-ups. The reason I like this is because there's more range of motion compared to normal step-ups. So for the crossover, you are just going to take a big step over onto the bench, and then you are going to step up. I like to add in a little trunk twist as well for extra glute activation. Moving on to our final superset, this is superset 3. We're doing crossover cable kickbacks along with weighted clamshells. So the crossover cable kickback will be the main movement. This will be the heavier lift. To do this, I am going to set up the cable machine. I'm going to then step over, and then I'm going to take the foot that's underneath and I'm going to kick it back. I'm also going to slightly rotate my foot open. So the knee that's underneath is going to go from almost knock-kneed to open-kneed. And then after I've done 10 reps on each foot is when I'll move on to the superset. And then for the weighted clamshells, I typically use a 25-pound plate, and I will place this on my quad area closer to my knee because I found that it targets the side booty more. And then I will press my heels together together as I clamshell my knees. I will do 10 on each side, and then I will immediately do this after those cable kickbacks, and this will be 3 times through. Once I'm done with superset 3, I will move on to the burnout set. Basically, during the burnout set, it is what it sounds like. It's just to fully burn out my legs or my glutes in this example. So on glute day, I will go on to a leg press. But when I do this, I will make sure to press the weight through my heel once again. This is so I can target the weight on my glutes instead of my quads. I also make sure to press the knees outward as I am pressing the weight away from me. I like to do anywhere between 3 sets of 10 to just going till failure. You can also do a pyramid set or a drop set, which is where you go from the highest weight to the lowest weight. Burnout sets are completely up to you and your creativity. But yeah, the main purpose is just to burn out your legs completely once the workout is over. Next, we're moving on to some common mistakes when working out your glutes. The first one is I feel it in my quads. How you can avoid this is by pushing through the heels in most of your movements. If you push through the toes, you are definitely going to feel it in your quads. Another thing to think about is mind to muscle connection. So actively thinking about your glutes will help you better target your glutes. One last trick that you can think of is the hinging of your hips. The more you can push your booty back, the more you're going to stretch it, which in turn activates it. Having little to no range of motion would definitely be the next common mistake. The reason for this is because of a lack of mobility, and that is typically because of a lack of flexibility. What you would need to do is just make sure you are stretching more and actively doing dynamic stretches at the beginning of your warm-up and static stretches at the end of your workout. Make sure to prioritize stretching in your routine, and you will definitely notice a difference in your mobility. The last common mistake is no progressive overload. What progressive overload means is basically just adding more weight as you get stronger. So when you start working out, maybe you start with 10 pounds on each side of the barbell, but as the weeks progress, you can then do 25 pounds and then 45 pounds. So the point is to continue upping the weight. The most common mistake is to just stick at the same weight, staying at the weight you started with. You are not going to see any results if you are just continuously staying at the weight you started with.
So what does all of this mean for you as the viewer? Basically, it's possible for you to build curves. I was able to go from below 100 pounds to above 130, and I definitely built my curves. A lot of people are going to tell you that it's not possible and that you should just go buy your curves instead, but take it from me, it is definitely possible with following this workout and also eating at a caloric surplus, which I'll get into in next week's video. But this is your reminder to stay consistent. You will definitely feel results immediately from this workout. You will start seeing results within 2 months. And by that 2-month mark, you'll also have developed that habit of working out. So you'll be better off in the long run. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure to subscribe and give this video a like. It really helps out this channel, but I do appreciate each and every one of you, so thank you.